entrepreneur.
Here I am.
The boss.
Literally.
Yes.
I'm in charge.
Yes, you
of an
are.
entire business.
Yes.
With a staff.
Yes.
Mostly I just work here.
So tell us about that. Tell us a little bit about your personal journey getting here. How did you acquire such a business?
Oh boy. Well, I was in the same place for the last decade, and wonderful. Great experience. Learned so much, managed, was buying in, and then just kind of realized it wasn't, I couldn't see the future there anymore. There was a long term where I could, and then something changed and I couldn't see it anymore. And I had these dreams and these visions of what I wanted for that business, but it wasn't realistic. And so I didn't know how this was going to come about, but I knew that I just needed to get out of that. And so I went and worked by myself for 4 months. I just rented a chair in Lake Stevens, which was a new experience because I had never been in that type of salon environment. And it was fine. Loved everyone at that salon. Great experience. Mm-hmm. But I missed my team. I missed having my girls. I wanted bigger. I just wanted bigger.
Sure.
Basically, as soon as I made the decision to open my own salon, every door kind of opened up for me. So mm-hmm. It was very much like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I found this location, signed the lease August 1st, and then we opened November 1st because I have zero chill, and also I needed to give the girls a space to take their clients. So it was a slightly rushed experience, but I have a very large network of humans that were very helpful and really made it happen. And since then, we've just been, every time my clients come in, they're like, oh, you added this. Oh, you did something else. I'm like, oh yeah. And it's going to continue because ultimately, I want to take over the Allstate next door and then expand. And initially I thought maybe I would want to add rooms to rent out or sublease. And now I've decided that no, it's just going to be hair. We're going to focus on what we're good at. And we're going to be experts in that. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I don't need to dip my toes into anything else. I want to really focus on creating a luxury, eco-conscious, sustainable hair salon where stylists and guests are the priority. It's not one or the other. It's both, because as service providers, we take on a lot of energies. We take on a lot, we're hairipists. And I can't even coin that term, but we are. Yeah, I just want to continue building and creating that safe space.
At what point did you know that when you were renting a chair that you wanted to expand at least?
When you rent a chair, it's every person for themselves, which is totally fine. Mm-hmm. Everybody's schedule is different. You never know when people are going to be working. I didn't really have the space to carry product. And yeah, it's like you kind of chat with people, but I am used to and was used to a camaraderie where we could ask each other about formulations or my favorite thing is complimenting everybody's clients.
So the birth of the name of the salon, where did that come from itself? How did that transpire?
I have always been kind of just drawn to the moon and its phases and just kind of connecting with that. And I knew that I wanted this to be a new opportunity. I was like, well, we're a beauty lounge. I don't want to just be a hair salon. There's more than, we do more than just hair, but, right. And so I picked the longest name in the world, but you have to say it like you're in the mafia.
Yeah.
With an Italian accent, La Nuova Luna, you have to really get into it. Yeah.
Fingers included?
Yeah, right? Fingers included, and you have to just let it out, because if you don't, it sounds crazy, so.
What does it look like, a typical day in the life at the salon itself, either for guests that come in or even for staff?
It's very welcoming. I think for the most part, all of us, no, I know for the most part, all of us actually love being here. So even if we don't have clients, I find the girls coming in, I'm like, wait, do you have a client? And they're like, no, I just wanted to hang out. Clients, for the most part, have all noticed how the girls feel comfortable and how they're really seeing their personalities shine through. And so we've had lots of people walk by and they're like, wow. So it just feels good. People come in, they check it out, and they book consultations while they're here and look at the product, and the girls all feel comfortable. And
I love it.
yeah, clients also. I mean, everyone's just kind of like, they're just loving how everyone's personality is shining through.
You love giving or providing that environment for people to thrive in also.
I do.
You know,
that's all I want. It's definitely a priority for me to make it a safe space for everyone involved. Even the UPS drivers, you know what I mean? I want them to come in and feel comfortable. We're friends. So
literally, I just witnessed.
We have a great time. It's constant laughter. Even if we're having heavier conversations as we do with some of our clients, we're able to provide that safe space, which is just like, I don't know, you can't put a price on that.
So out of everything that's here, are there any distinctive features that you think will set you apart?
Our products for take home and for in salon, they're as non-toxic as you can get in this industry. We have a recycling program with Green Circle Salons, and we have eliminated 95% of our waste. I think we've taken the garbage out 2 or 3 times since November. Everything else is recycled. Our foils, our tubes of color, our bottles of color, paper, plastic, all of the hair is recycled, and they do multiple things with it. They do the oil mats, they make the bins that we put our recycling in out of hair. It's pretty crazy. So that's been a really cool program that I've wanted to do for a long time. So being able to utilize that is a huge deal to me. Gosh, we've done so much education. Just even before we opened, we did some education and new colors and extensions, and some of the classes we've taken have been some of the best I've ever taken, and I've been doing hair for 15 years. So
that's great.
It's been great. And I love hosting. It's super fun to host. So
yeah.
We're about community, not competition. So there's room for everybody. There are so many clients. There's so many people. It's not a competition. Not every client is for me. I'm not the stylist for everybody, and I don't expect to be, and I don't want to be, because then I have to fit in a box. We're circles here.
Yeah.
No boxes.
Can't put Miranda in a box.
No. Because of my experience with cancer, I have clients that when they're going through it, they feel like this is a safe space for them to come into and
absolutely
and receive the care. I mean, I had a friend reach out, and we shaved her head the other day, so not me, but one of the girls. But just to be able to have that space and have people feel comfortable reaching out to me about that, huge deal.
And speaking of that, how did that journey with cancer play a role into where you are today?
Really, yes. It kind of was, I don't know, almost like a, because that was 2019, 2020. So 2021, we're all just kind of getting back into the swing of things. 2022, that's kind of when I was like, okay, everything doesn't feel like it was on the same path as before.
Okay.
And so I think that it was a huge deal. I was like, well, what am I waiting for?
Right.
Obviously, I know that things can change at the drop of a hat, so I don't really want to wait any longer. It took me a little while to wrap my head around it not being a selfish decision to do all of this, but ultimately, it's none of my business what other people think about what I'm doing. I know what my goal is. I know what I'm trying to create, and the people who value it will value it. It
must feel good knowing that you can now be an example for some of those clients too when bringing them here, right?
Absolutely. I learned this actually when I was going through treatment. It's called toxic positivity, and when I was going through treatment, I was like, oh my God, is that me? Am I toxically positive? It was interesting to hear that, because I was like, I try and be as positive as possible all the time. I mean, we're all going to have bad days. We're all going to be, and we get stuck in a rut, but it's not okay to live there. I think that there's enough around us to keep us down. And if we're able to rise above that, that's really important. And so I just feel like anytime somebody's like, oh, I don't know, I can't do it, or that's not real, or that's not going to work out, I'm like, well, whether you can or you can't, you're right. Whether you think that. And because I think that our mindset has to shift if we want to grow and move forward, because it's so easy to get stuck. And I was there, I was stuck in it.
Right.
But once I went through treatment, and then I was like, okay, well, actually in 6 months, I'm not going to have this anymore. In 6 months, my hair's going to be growing back. In 8 months, I'm going to do this. Or I just kept looking at time in increments. And now when I look back, I'm like, time is not real, because it doesn't feel like it's been 4 years, 5 years since I was diagnosed. So, and just the stuff I've accomplished just even in the last year kind of blows everything the years before that out of the water. So. Right. Yeah.
And a lot of that's just doing, right? Just the action of doing and not thinking or talking. There has to be planning involved, of course. You know? And do you find that might even be the block of somebody sometimes? Some people's success is okay, I have to have the perfect plan before I make the move. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I think that's humanity. I think that's a societal construct. I think that there are these goalposts, whether it's society that set it up for us or ourselves, but it starts young. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that we get these mental blocks, and then nobody can pull you out of it but yourself.
Right.
But I definitely realized after I started kind of clearing some stuff out of my life what was weighing me down. Mm-hmm. And once it was gone, I was like, whoa.
Are there things that you've done post-cancer that you would have never done?
Taking my first vacation since cancer in 2 weeks. So that's a full week. I'm a little bit nervous about it because I haven't been gone that long. It's in years, but I'm excited. I got a business coach before I opened the salon, and I went to my first mastermind. Then I took my manager, and it was invaluable information. Sure. So that was fantastic.
How is the coaching from an owner's perspective?
Fantastic, because there isn't a lot of business coaching specific to salons. Mm-hmm. And so when I made the decision to open, a door just kind of opened, and I honestly got an ad on Instagram. It was for a budget sheet, and through Rachel Page. And I was like, I'll need that. And so I went through that, and then I met up with them, and they have very successful salons in Houston that I plan on offering my stylists paid time off, 401k matching, insurance, all the things that stylists have been put into a box for years saying oh, well, you have to get that yourself. That's not offered. Yeah. We should be able to plan for our futures. We should be able to take time off when we want to and still get paid for it. There's no reason. We work so hard. Stylists are some of the hardest working people I've ever met, and I don't think people really realize how hard we work and how much we're taking on a daily basis. Right. So when I found the coach and they offered all of that, it just fell into place. I was like, perfect, because I didn't want to open and fumble and make silly mistakes that could be avoided. Sure. I want to set us up for success. Absolutely. Yeah. How do you plan
on, this is kind of off key, but how do you plan on staying present when you're on vacation?
One of the first things I did was hire my manager, and it's the best thing I've ever done. She is all of the things that they're not my strengths, she is perfect for. Those are her strengths. So we balance each other out really well. It is really nice that I can depend on her. What matters is that this is the community, right? So we're going to be doing more outreach in the community, mm-hmm. and the girls are really active in the Arlington Mom Facebook pages, and mm-hmm. it's just been fun meeting people from around here. And even though we were just in Marysville before, or Lake Stevens before, right? Arlington's huge, and it's growing.
Yeah, especially this area that you're in. This was farmland mm-hmm. about 7 to 8 years ago. It was heavy farmland.
Yeah, there's new salons opening. There's a new med spa opening. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's going to be exciting, and it's exciting to kind of be at the forefront of it.
Yeah, let's just do a little COVID snippet of what it was like for you as a stylist and as an entrepreneur. And if some of those people are maybe still stuck in that post-COVID or that whatever it was for them to get them out of the bubble, like how did you manage to get through that with clients?
I finished my double mastectomy in January. I was back to work for like a month and a half, and then I started radiation right as we went into the shutdown. And radiation was harder on me than chemo since I worked all through chemo. So it worked out for me because by noon every day I was wrecked. So
Sure.
Being on that break was actually like very helpful for me. And then when we were back in the salon, I mean, obviously we were doing color deliveries when we were at the last salon, and that was wonderful. But of course our clients were like, well, nothing compares. And I was like, obviously,
Yeah.
so you have to come back. And then June, we hit the ground running. I mean, we were working like 6-7 days a week, and it's just nonstop for several months. And I just feel like I kept my life pretty normal while I was going through treatment. And then because I was going through radiation and didn't feel good, like it just was like a little break, and I didn't have to, because I would have worked. I would have tried to work through it, and would have probably been more miserable. And now I feel like there's still a lot of fear. I have a giant air purifier that looks like the Scream machine from Monsters, Inc.
So, future aspirations, some advice and reflections.
Well, eventually I want to take the space next door. We'll see. But that's the goal, because I want to just create a bigger salon. Because I like stuff. A lot of stuff. So I want to create a different type of color area, like kind of a communal color area where people can come in and they can work and they can have their laptops, because that's kind of the new way of things, is people are able to work from home. It opens up their schedules a little bit. You know, I have clients that take Zoom calls while they're getting their hair done, you know, which is great. And
Absolutely.
I think that's huge, because people can be productive. Ultimately, that's kind of the next goal. I'd like to expand that before the next 5 years, but then in 5 years I'd like to purchase a location and custom build that out.
Yes.
Yeah, a second location. This is my baby, I'll probably always keep this location.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be able to do more education, and I don't know, maybe someday I'll be an educator, I don't know. We've been doing a lot more content creation, which I never actually thought I would get into, but my dad called me an influencer yesterday, so. But it's fun. And it makes our clients feel special.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's what I'm here for. I want everybody who walks through the store to feel like $1 million when they leave. Really, the sky's the limit. There's really nothing that we can't do when we set our minds to it. Don't let your mindset hold you back, but the opportunities are there. The world is your oyster, literally.
It is.
That's it. We have all the things now. We have a Facebook, we have a TikTok, we have an Instagram, we have a website. Our website is very fun. It has a quiz. So you can literally go on and you can be matched with a stylist, which is super fun. And you can book a consult through our online booking and with said stylist just from the quiz. Or you can come in and you can check it out and book a consult. But we do suggest consults for every color service. I have cutting specialists, I have color specialists, but our TikTok's really fun. So most of the companies that we support are women-owned. I try and support as many women-owned businesses as possible. Our product lines are from Italy and Australia, and their standards are way above everyone else. And they'll change your hair completely, so.